Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
George sent me a note about a story out of Maryland, and it's a press release from the Attorney General. The Attorney General announces a $10 million multi-state settlement with ACI Worldwide over attempted unauthorized withdrawals from consumer accounts. If you've got a mortgage that you pay with an electronic withdrawal situation, this might affect you. And there also is one very, very glaring question that will pop up in, I believe, the first sentence. Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown has joined a coalition of 49 attorneys general announcing a $10 million settlement with payment processor ACI Worldwide over a 2021 testing error that led to the attempted unauthorized withdrawal of $2.3 billion from the accounts of mortgage holders. Yes, 49 AGs got together on this. One did not. Last time I counted, there were 50 states. So there's one state out there that if you are in that state and this happened to you, you might not be able to get any money. Your AG didn't get the memo, apparently. The settlement includes injunctive relief designed to prevent a similar incident in the future. And this is kind of complicated, but there is something going on here that I actually know somebody this might affect, and I'll tell you in a second. ACI Payments is a subsidiary of ACI Worldwide Corp. They're a payment processor for a variety of third-party clients, including mortgage servicers. Nation Star Mortgage, known publicly as Mr. Cooper, offered ACI's SpeedPay product to its customers so they could schedule and electronically pay their monthly mortgage payments through the Automated Clearinghouse System, or the ACH system. And I actually know somebody who has a mortgage with Mr. Cooper. And so I was talking to them about their mortgage, and I said, well, who's your mortgage with? They said, Mr. Cooper. I go, some guy has just got your mortgage? He goes, no, Mr. Cooper is a company. It's a bank. I said, it's called Mr. Cooper. They said, yes. And I've since heard that from more than one person. So Mr. Cooper is apparently a big company, not just some guy. Back in April of 2021, ACI was testing the platform when it erroneously attempted to withdraw mortgage payments from hundreds of thousands of Mr. Cooper customers on a day that was not authorized or expected. In many cases, consumers were subjected to the attempted withdrawal of multiple mortgage payments from their personal bank accounts. The attorneys general alleged the April 2021 incident was due to significant defects in the privacy and data security procedures and technical infrastructure related to the SpeedPay platform. While the vast majority of withdrawals did not ultimately go through or were reversed, 1.4 million transactions totaling $2.3 billion were processed, impacting 477,000 Mr. Cooper customers. While ACI took corrective steps to minimize the impact of the error, in some cases, consumers were not able to access the money at issue, were forced to incur overdraft or insufficient funds fees, and so on. Impacted consumers have received restitution from ACI and through other related settlements. So over 13,000 mortgage accounts in Maryland alone were impacted by the error, causing confusion and worry for many residents and their families, says A.G. Brown. Companies entrusted with consumers' hard-earned money must be held accountable for failing to safeguard it effectively. Consumers should contact their financial institutions immediately if they experience unauthorized or unexpected withdrawals from an account to prevent further harm from insufficient funds and associated fees. In addition to the payments to the states, the settlement requires ACI to take steps to avoid any future incidents, including requiring ACI to use artificially created data rather than real consumer data when testing systems or software, and requiring ACI to segregate testing or development work from its consumer payment systems. So test it first, then implement it. Case was investigated and negotiated with the state financial regulators. From this settlement, Maryland will receive $236,000. The state regulators, including Maryland, have entered into a separate agreement with ACI for an additional $10 million. So it is convenient that you can pay your bills online. I've got bill pay that I do online. I've got banking I do online. A lot of stuff I do online. And I will let you know that I believe it's necessary in this day and age that if you've got a bank account that you can access online, you probably want to log on periodically. And by periodically, I mean, in my case, I log in almost every single day to take a look at it, just to see what's happened recently in my bank account. And I have found problems. I'm trying to think of the last time I discovered a problem, and I think it was with a debit card situation where just a debit charge just showed up. And I looked at it. I didn't recognize it. I clicked on all the information regarding it. None of it looked familiar. And I filed a complaint, and they said, oh, that was an error, and they just removed it. How did an error take money out of my account and you just remove it with no explanation? And I don't know if the bank made a mistake or if somebody out there who had my information did that just to see if I'd catch it. I don't know. And I've heard of a lot of stories like that happening where something just pops up. Where'd that come from? Don't know. Now, I mentioned before I recently went to California, and on that trip, I used some plastic once in a while to do things. And so when I got back, I checked my bank, and I start seeing a bunch of stuff pop up from out of state, which is unusual for me because I don't leave the state that often. But I would then look at it and go, oh, okay, I remember doing that. And I mean, I've been places before where a Coke machine takes debit cards. And I remember going on vacation once years ago and seeing a Coke machine. I didn't have any money on me, but I had my wallet. And so I used a debit card to buy a bottle of Diet Coke. And I remember getting back from vacation, and I'm going through all the charges, and I'm like, what's this one here for like $2? What's that? And I remembered, oh, wait, that's the Diet Coke I bought that one day in the hallway of the hotel. So it's kind of weird, but I've also seen other ones pop up, and it's oftentimes for just a couple bucks, $1 here, $1 there. And I'm convinced that there's people out there who just routinely, when they run a card for something, wait a couple days and run it through for another $1 just to see if they can get it. Because I don't think anything bad happened to whoever it was that put that phantom charge on my card. I think they just reversed it and, oh, oops, sorry, that's on us. But the weird part here is that I don't know if Mr. Cooper was the only company or if Mr. Cooper was the only subsidiary of the company, Nation Star Mortgage. But it says here, including mortgage servicers like Nation Star Mortgage. But I know somebody who's got a mortgage through Mr. Cooper. And so I have to check to see if they had a problem 2 years ago now where some money was accidentally taken out of their account while they're testing something. But don't worry, they put it back in. And of course, the problem is that if your bank was accidentally requested to pay your mortgage early and you didn't have the money there, they might go, oh, that's an NSF fee. Even if Mr. Cooper gives the money back. They're going to go, well, it's still your fault because you're the one who authorized Mr. Cooper to make withdrawals from here. And, of course, you didn't authorize him to make that withdrawal. So you got to get the money back from Mr. Cooper. Meanwhile, you got a problem here. And so I've heard of people before who are living their lives in such a way that they've got some bank accounts that they only use for one thing. They've had trouble, whatever, it doesn't matter. I've got one bank account. When the bill comes due, I put the money in, it gets paid. Put the money in, it gets paid. So if somebody requests the money before it gets put in, it doesn't get paid, and boom, now you get an NSF fee. And you shouldn't have to pay that. And more interestingly, if they take your money without your permission, what is that now? Is there a legal term for that? Let me think about that now. Let's suppose that you had some money. It was just laying there, and someone took it. They know it's your money, and they took it without permission. Is there a legal concept there at all? Is there? And so some people are going to point out and say, Steve, if they did this with all of this money, $2.3 billion, they go, oops, it was a mistake, and they're just being fined. Some people are going to say, but Steve, I know people have gone to jail for less than that. I'm pretty certain I can think of somebody who's gone to jail for stealing less than $2.3 billion. Now you're going to say, but Steve, stealing is the problem here. Were they stealing the money? And it's true. To steal money, you have to have the intent to be taking something from somebody wrongfully and so on. And they're going to say, oh, it was an honest mistake, a good faith mistake, a bona fide error, we call that. Yeah, but it's still a problem. It might not be out and out theft, but the result is the same. So yeah, we'll cut a check and we'll walk away from it. That's what they do. So here we go. But again, this is only applying to 49 states. I'm not sure what the 50th state is. Did not see that anywhere in the story. But George, thanks for sending it. From Maryland's own AG press release. Attorney General Brown announces $10 million multi-state settlement with ACI Worldwide over attempted unauthorized withdrawals from consumer accounts, especially those from Mr. Cooper. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. Facts are meaningless. You can use facts to prove anything that's even remotely true.